So you want to build a free-to-play Hangman team. I'm going to show you how. So we're going to go over these units. We're not going to go deep into their kits, but we're basically going to go over what they synergize with, why I'm using the units that I'm using, and basically replacements I would suggest. So first, sorry, I'm still a little bit sick. I'm recording them all at the same time, all right? I got that sick man energy. So I'm going to go over the irreplaceable units first, and then we will go over the other units. So very first, probably the most important character on the entire team is going to be Stinger. His trait allows him at the end of the turn to attack something for 40% physical damage and inflicts the Hanged Men's Mark. And then if you have that combined with something like Settlement of the Hangmen, which is going to be on 2 of our characters, if they're dying, meaning they're below 30% life after you attack, he is going to basically execute them unless they have a damage reduction thing, but it does 30% damage to them, so it'll usually execute them. So it is very important. Basically, this will, if at the end of the turn, if someone's close to dead or not quite dying, he can just stand next to him. He'll shoot him, bring him into dying, and then he'll just kill him straight up. And if he doesn't kill him, he still leaves the Hangman's Mark on him. So this guy just executes people left and right. Super powerful. Now, I have mine built differently than I would recommend you're building them. Mine's built for the tower, so he's using Luxite Shrapnel because he's one of the best tower units in the game. However, getting something like Flurry of Stabs just to increase your overall damage is probably going to be pretty good here because he does do a lot of damage. Doing something like, I mean, the Settlement of the Hangman is really good. The Army Bane Blade is probably significantly better than the Luxite Shrapnel on average. But I like having the shrapnel, so I take it. And this does cost 4 energy. However, I would use either Flurry of Stabs or the Army Bane Blade. I'd pick which one you want more. And then basically whatever one you don't take, take the other one here. But also Infected Dagger could be really good too. It's pretty good, but Infection isn't great on him. You kind of want him to do his damage like up front. That way they go to dying and he just executes them. The gear, I'm just using kind of whatever right now. Although I should equip that, huh? There we go. So he's the most irreplaceable main damage dealer. The second most irreplaceable, I would say, is Candlelight. You can see here, I have no equipment on the characters, on some of these characters that are just not going to be damage dealers. So Candlelight is kind of like a super amazing support unit, but she has weaknesses for sure, but she kind of complements, she basically makes up for it with a huge amount of strength. Basically, if she gets attacked from the front or side, she inflicts the Hangman's Mark. This is almost never going to happen because you don't really want her to get attacked. But she does do it before being attacked. And it lasts for 2 turns when she's at level 5, which is pretty cool. And then all allies within 5 tiles around characters take 20% less damage if the attacker has Hangman's Mark. So it's an AoE damage reduction for the whole entire squad, which is really cool, but it only triggers... She can only trigger this if she gets attacked, but still, if you have the other character just putting on Hangman's Mark on things, then it'll still trigger for everybody, which is very, very powerful as a way to mitigating damage. Because this character has very bad healing, mostly because you're going to be using your insane other skills. So the ones that you're basically going to have to use Castilla here, I think. These are both too good. Special Mission restores 4 energy to a character. The other Hangmen have these skills that cost 4 energy that do insane amounts of damage. This gives them a huge boost, gives them up to full energy. Absolutely insanely powerful. You want to be using it. But also, Wanted Notice is really your only heal. But also, it is it's not instant speed, but it is an ability that will allow you to put the Hangman's Mark on anything you want within 5 tiles. Inflict speed down 2. Then it heals all of your allies within 4 tiles of the target for 65% of your magic attack. And then it also grants them +1 move for a turn. So this ability is absolutely insane. This ability is absolutely insane. I don't know which one I'd prefer, but that's the one you have to take. And then you're kind of stuck with Inner Light. If you don't necessarily need this, but it is really good. You select an ally at instant speed, and you restore 1 energy to all allies within 3 tiles. You can't target yourself, but it doesn't really matter. It's not usually that relevant. However, you could get rid of Inner Light if you want to do something like again, more physical defense for all your allies, just by having this aura. These guys tend to work better when they stay close to each other because they want to be using Hangman's Mark and then taking advantage of it. You could go for a little bit of damage here, but I don't think so, to get a little more healing. I think that these are probably the best abilities here, but not that good of healing overall. So that is a thing we're going to be looking to overcome. Third irreplaceable character is going to be Night Raven. Night Raven is just honestly your best damage dealer in the entire team. As far as executing people, Stinger is better. As far as getting damage numbers out, Night Raven is actually kind of busted in this game. Absolutely huge, especially when you get her up to 5 stars. 20% increased attack, and then 30% increased damage on top of that, which is insane. And then she also has, she has the Settlement of the Hangman, which I really like. She also has her core ability, Eroding Darkness, which is I think it's this one. Yeah, I think this is her key ability. So you're going to want a little bit of AoE on her. I like Eroding Darkness because I don't have to put any points into getting it. However, if you did get something like Dark Ripple, it could be good as well because it's a utility ability, but I'm actually happy with the ability she starts with. However, take this reaction. Protection of Darkness is way better. If you actually do get hit, it's going to reduce your damage taken by 30%. So, there we go. So basically, once someone has Hangman's Mark, she just absolutely rips them up. And even if she doesn't kill them, if she gets them 70% of their life, she's going to finish them off nearly all the time. But look at this. Darkest Annihilation. 180% damage. It costs 4, which is why Candlelight is so important in this team, among many of the other synergistic reasons. Before attacking, the character gains armor piercing for 1 turn. So before you attack, you get to pierce 40% of their defense while doing 180% damage, while also having a 30% damage increase if they have the Hangman's Mark. Absolutely an insane ability. Sometimes you're just going to want to use Eroding Darkness to hit a couple things, because if there's multiple things dying, then they have Hangman's Mark, you can execute them all. It still just does some debuffs on them, which helps kind of synergize with other, getting debuffs is just good in general. It synergizes with one of the replacements we're going to be looking at. And overall, it's an okay ability. It's not insane, but it is pretty good. You could also go double down and have more single target attacks, but I kind of feel like at that point you have your charge attack here to kind of help you with that. So absolutely insane damage dealer. Gonna pretty much carry the team from a damage numbers standpoint, even if not necessarily the most amount of executes. But I do think Settlement of the Hangman is so good that I wouldn't get rid of it. Now, I wish he had some energy restoration. So if you get like a cornucopia staff, I think that could be like a best in slot for her. Because she just really needs the energy more than anything. Even with Candlelight, she's still 4 energy a turn is a lot without passive regeneration. So the first and here the easiest character to replace, and one I'm not gonna recommend you use, Enforcer, which is very sad. I love Enforcer. However, if you are going heavy in to the Hangman theme, he actually does he doesn't help the team out that much. Now, he does have a decent passive. The best part about him is his passive. He gets increased movement, which is really cool. And then he locks onto enemies and applies the Hangman's Mark, which is really the main reason you want to use him, is to apply Hangman's Mark. However, between Stinger doing it at the end of his turns, between having Candlelight being able to trigger it and being able to put it on whoever you want, I don't really feel like it comes up that much. And this guy kind of, the biggest issue with this team is that this is the tank of the team, but they cannot protect your team at all. They have no way to actually protect your team, to heal your team. They can kind of debuff the enemy, but there's no way to hold aggro, right? And a lot of these units, like Night Raven and Stinger, are not tanky at all. Night Raven can be tanky, I suppose, if you build her right. But I really like having a dedicated tank / healing support, and this character does neither of those things. All of his abilities kind of want him to be attacked, like with counterattack mode and taking reduced damage from stuff, but then nothing makes the enemy actually attack him. So there's a great chance they'll just ignore him and go around. So I think Enforcer is better as a unit, just in a different team altogether. I think like Concussion is great. I think Energy Depleting Blow is great. I think Brutal Blow is good. I think Feverish Attack, is that what it is good, but I just don't, and I think this is even good too, but I don't think it fits into the Hangman team, unfortunately. So what I'm going to recommend as a free-to-play replacement is Maitha. I think she does everything you want this team to do, and then some. I mean, she doesn't do the Hangman's Mark, but she is going to make up for the team's biggest weakness, which is no healing and no support. So if you get Come On Everybody, she restores 20% HP to a bunch and gives a little bit of a buff to all of your allies within a 3-tile radius. And then she's going to block all physical attacks within 2 tiles for 2 straight turns. So she is basically going to be your go-to tank, and is going to be absolutely insane. You can also put in, like, if you want to, you could put in a battle flag for her, but you don't really need to. You don't need to have all these attacks on her. You could get something like co-defense as a passive just to make her tankier, because again, you tend to move as a bit of a unit on this team. You can get invulnerable, make her even a better tank. But basically, Come On Everybody is an insane ability, super strong for what we're trying to do here. And I like having a little bit of debuff here because that synergizes. Obviously, having higher physical attack is nice, but we're trying to debuff the enemy to get a little bit of it's a little bit of a sub theme of the set. So block counter, basically you just want her. Her passive lets her heal people. She takes less damage, she protects the team and keeps people from dying. Maitha is actually perfect, and most importantly, she is from Iria, and she's free for everybody. So finally here, the character that I hate using, but I actually think they're super vital, and I would easily replace them if I could. Well, I can, but if you could replace Fire Conjurer, I would. But they have the battle flag of Iria. I don't believe any other character has the normal battle flag of Iria outside of like legend units that are banner units that you might have to pull, you might not get, right? So just by having this, the battle flag, it's hard to overestimate how powerful 10% attack and 20% defense on your whole team all the time is, right? So this is very good. Outside of this, she kind of does nothing. Scorch is like, okay, you just throw some fireball. She's got like a little bit of support. Like she can give everyone attack up 2. That's like, okay. She can give Scorch passively at the end of her turn. That's like, okay. You can do Fire Pillar. That's like, okay. And you want potential burst, but it's across the board from literally the reason you're using her. So do you really want to use a Castalia or whatever on this fucking silver unit for an ability that's like probably whatever? You're going to replace her as soon as you get Dandelion? Probably not. So really the only quote unquote support, like what is this? This isn't support. This isn't support. This is support. Half of the abilities are support in her support tree. This ability is fine, but it's not really what you want to be doing, especially because you're already getting attack 1 up with Maitha in this situation. So Fire Pillar is fine. And then like she just kind of sucks, honestly, at least for this team and kind of just in general, if I'm being honest. She does get some damage, you know, armor piercing, extra magic attack, if she's around other allies, so that's good. But really, you're bringing her, this is the only reason you're bringing her, is the battle flag. The battle flag is very good. However, if you get Dandelion, I would immediately switch this out. But this is no longer free to play, right? This is free to play, and she is free to play, and she will get the job done. But Dandelion, once you get him, he is perfect for this team. One, he's just a fucking badass powerhouse of a unit in general. He's good at killing stuff, keeping himself alive. He takes like no melee damage, which is fantastic. But he also has the improved battle flag of Iria, which does the normal thing, but it also makes us deal 20% more damage if enemies have debuffs. If I was putting him in this team, I would probably not go with the white sword. I'd probably honestly go with like something like Slash, which sounds unintuitive, but then I would use like Unsheath instead. And I would use like, just go around and hit shit in the face, right? You want him to be in the front of the fight for the most part, I think, because you want him to absorb a little bit of these attacks. Plus, Unsheath is good because it inflicts vulnerable too, which is a debuff. He doesn't have a way to do the Hangman's Mark. Nungall could do it at a range, so if you have Nungall, you could do that too. But again, for Iria is really good. So let's take a quick look at Nungall, though, in case you do happen to have Nungall, because she was on a banner as well. Sort by rarity, please. Oh, we already are. Duh, Plat. Or what are you, stupid? I don't think she has the flag. She has the ability to do the Hangman's Mark, which is very powerful. But without you want a flag on the team. And then it's like, all right, now you switch out Stinger for her or something. And it's like, you're not at a free-to-play team, and you're not really following the spirit of what the team is. So once you can get rid of the flag girl for a flag man, then I think you're going to have a much better time. I lost where she's at. There she is. So this is the team that I would be going with. And I already did this fight. This is not like an insane fight, but they are level 50. We are level 50. I am using a level 55 Maitha, but a level 39 Fire Conjurer. And this is the exact gear I had on them. So I had some good gear. It's going to artificially make their attacks look a little bit better, probably. Although this gear is not stacked. It's level 50, but it's his 5-star. I understand. So it's like, I'm not super over prepared for this fight. But this is the fight I'm going to be doing. And so now let's go ahead and load into that, and we'll show you kind of exactly how we go. So I was going to do it without any talents. However, it was just easier. I was trying to get it done in one attempt and not have to like learn the fight. And so I just used some of the talents to help me out here. But you're going to see she's just going to do her job, and she's going to do it right, bro. She's just gonna, her job is to defend everybody and also help support the healing because there's almost no healing on the team. And then we're not going in super aggressive. We probably could, but we actually did there, right? That was just a normal attack, right? Very powerful. I wish the destroyers had... I wonder if I should level my destroyer talents more because they have no inherent advantage against any other type of unit. It is kind of weird that destroyers and watchers aren't both advantage towards each other. But here we go, right? Like Candlelight, I don't even know if it has gear on, but either way, they're not that tanky. And then they're just going to come in, start attacking us. We're basically just going to do our job, right? Even though he lives, he does die to the... He would have died even if that attack didn't kill him because of the Hangman's Mark thing. But there we go. You just attack him. And actually, Fireball worked pretty well. So she did have a job here. But she is mostly here just to do an AoE attack up. You can see we recovered 4 energy to our Night Raven here because Night Raven just needs a fuck ton of energy. I had her use a heal, little passive heal on herself, mostly just because, like, I did reset once, and I think she died, not here, but, like, the turn after, and I was like, let's just use this now, in case I needed to use it a second time in the combat. But they get rid of her reaction skills, which is a little bit lame, because she doesn't get a counterattack, but still, you know, she's here to protect people. And as long as we are within 2 squares, we will be fine. And so you can see exactly kind of just the team is functioning right. Eroding Darkness, that's the AoE attack too, so it still killed him there. Like, take a quick look at Night Raven here, right? Like, Night Raven, do you have the attack up? Attack up too. Like, Night Raven's at 3,500 magic attack. Absolutely cracked. Night Raven does so much damage. Like, she has higher magic stats than, like, Beryl and higher percentages. Like, I think she, and over a course of 1 round, I think she does more damage than Beryl does. However, Beryl can do her damage super consistently every single turn because of the energy restoration. It doesn't require a Hangman's Mark on an enemy, right? But I think, like, in 2 ideal situations over 1 turn, I think Night Raven actually could do more burst damage. Unless Boom, I guess. But still, like, you know what I'm saying. It's strong. Doom Manifestation. Blocked. Bro, get out of here. So, she's going to keep doing her thing, right? She just comes over here. She gives everyone some cake. Everyone gets really happy that they get cake. You block. Keep our allies alive. You even get a counterattack this time. Isn't that great? And look at all these infection stacks going on because he threw his Luxite grenade, which I wouldn't normally use. But he had it, so why not? Warhorn, this is just to show how much damage I could do when I just wanted to show you that how much I like doing a bunch of damage. So look at that. Watch this. Darkest Annihilation. Boom. 15,000, bro. And that was without the Hangman Mark. So they would have died with the Hangman's Mark from the initial damage, not even including the extra 30%. So want to notice, it does, that's one of our big heals, right? It heals everybody and it puts the Hangman's Mark on him. I think Maitha could just absolutely kill him here. He's already super low. Boom. Hit him. Smack him. Make him feel good. Got to be careful here because she doesn't block magic attacks. So it's like your characters can't just be pieces of paper, right? They actually have to have a little bit of chutzpah. And I did that because I couldn't actually attack this guy anyway. If I try to move through here, he gets 1 shot. There we go. Just a normal attack, you know, because they have energy problems, I'll admit. Fireball doesn't really do much. Again, Maitha's here to protect you. And then I know, like, I was going to win, but I was like, all right, come on, let's just get this through. I was capped out on my TP, so let's just use some freaking, let's use Ragnarok to speed this up more. This is the only thing I cared about. And there we go. And this will be an easy way to clean them up here. She just keeps... Come on, everybody is very strong. It's not broken, but it is very strong. And it's perfect for this team. If you have Coco, I'd replace Maitha with Coco, though, honestly. I just wanted to see if that attack would count as executing someone, but it didn't. So I think it has to be a single target attack. Or I guess it has to be a unit-based attack, at least. There we go. And then absolutely brutalize them. So that is my build of the free-to-play Hangman team. Overall, they are pretty good. They can push content. They have an issue with sustainability. If you get rid of Fire Sorceress and you get Dandelion, this will help your team out a lot because you could then afford to have Dandelion tank a couple of the hits because he kind of just heals up passively over time. And I think if you have Coco over Maitha, it'll be even better for healing allies. But Maitha also gets to be like a backup healer. Candlelight is so good, but she's not really a healer, and it's the only real healer you have in this team. And the issue with Enforcer is he doesn't actually protect anybody. No one has to attack him, so they're just going to go around him and attack your other characters. and it just becomes awkward. So I actually think you need someone that's able to protect your team. You don't need the healing ability. You could just use a passive guard, so it only activates once per turn, so she doesn't take too much damage. But I'm happy with this build of the team. Anyway, that's going to be all for today, guys. Thank you very much for Platypus. Purplatypus. I'll see you on the flip-flops. Bye!
Platypus on the rise, watch the views go.